Yeah, look, it does. I mean, elongation in membranes is a critical factor. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Flexibility of elongation, and it depends on the application you're using it for. However, with elongation, I think the problem in this market at the moment is that there's been too much focus on how long a membrane can stretch, and mine's got 500% and this one's got 600%. But when you see that there's still failures in the market, there's been this focus now for probably 12 years on elongation of membranes and putting them in classes of 1, 2 and 3, yet we've still got problems in the market. So to me, elongation is not the critical telling factor of why membranes fail, because the reality is we still see membranes failing that have got high elongation or low elongation. It's more about appraising or recognising a system. What is a membrane? It's an independent part of a system. It's one part of it. Does it stick to the surface? Does it handle movement? Elongation comes into that. How strong is it? Can it handle the chemicals? We've got that part covered in standards. But then we've got situations like, how does it work over different surfaces? We've got plastic flanges, we've got flashings in bathrooms and roofing and balconies, yet there's no adhesion properties required of membranes, and we see that's where failures happen. How do we terminate a membrane at critical junctions, like drains? There's so many failures I see out there where membranes have actually been installed really well, and the design part of the drain is where it's failed. So elongation is one part of it, and we've got, the first thing I see so many sales reps do is they get their data sheet out and go, oh look, our membrane's got 500% elongation, it's fantastic. Well, whoopee-doo, what else can it do? Because that's what the waterproof integrity is over time. Water resistance, we've got a water vapour transmission reading for wet area membranes, but actually have we tested what membranes do in hot and cold conditions with water? We don't do that. And so here we are testing against bleach, detergent, and how long the elongation is after that, yet we've forgotten about other things that could matter. And the big one is finishes, tile adhesives, screeds, bonding to membranes. How many failures are still out in the market where you don't get tiles, adhesives, or the toppings that can bond to a membrane surface? And yet, at the end of the day, that is the critical part of a tile finish. It needs to be able to bond to something. And so these are things that I think have been forgotten. So when I wrote that blog about elongation, yeah, it's important, elongation is important, but it shouldn't be the primary focus. It's one of probably 10 key components we should be looking at. And my opinion in that blog was saying that I think it's time for the standard to be reviewed. I think there's a lot of my contemporaries out there that agree with me. And we need to be engaging as an industry, all the different manufacturers and applicator companies and authorities to look at where these failures still are, because they are out there. They're real and they're getting worse. I had a journalist call me in January out of Victoria, and some of the stories that I'm hearing of these $1 million apartments that are failing are frightening. And they're not all about waterproof membranes, they're about other design features and ways we are building. But how can you invest in $1 million home or plus and then have some serious maintenance that are damage related within 2 or 3 years, some are months? I mean, that's ludicrous, and we've got to get that right, because we look like a third world country when we're having those sort of conditions show up in such a short time. We're Australia, we need to be proud of what we're building, and we need to make sure that we can compete against what the Europeans are doing, what the Americans are doing, as far as quality goes.